So this is going to be a real-time Cubase composition video. I've got no idea where it's going to head at all. Okay, just a little bit of history. Me and Cubase, we go way back. A lot of my classic stuff from the 90s was created in Cubase, and that was back on the Atari. And I still love this thing. And this Cubase 8 Pro version is absolutely fantastic. It's definitely the best iteration by far. The other thing I'm going to have to warn you guys is that I haven't been using it that much recently, despite my enthusiasm for it. And so in some parts of this, maybe there are going to be things that I'm going to make some mistakes on. So bear with me. Let's see what happens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically set up a new track. So look, we've got a nice little plus sign here. This is fairly new. Click on here. I can choose instrument track, and that's what I'm going to go for. And we've got a list we can drop down here. The great thing is we can do a search, and we've got obviously the Steinberg instruments that come with Cubase, as well as my VSTs and AUs. Sorry, not AUs. It's going to be VSTs, and so there's a big list there. And I'm going to try and focus on the Steinberg stuff, on the Cubase things. So we got synth, and Halion Sonic SE is kind of like a workhorse, bread and butter, very diverse workstation. Very similar, in fact, to something like a Yamaha Motif. Because Yamaha bought Steinberg, and they've invested some of their kind of technology that has been part of their kind of hardware range. So the Yamaha Motif was a very, very popular workstation, and so it reminds me of that. And that means we've got a ton of different sounds in here, really high quality across the range of things like pianos, strings, synths, all kinds of sounds. And I don't know what I'm going to start with. Let me just show you something. If you haven't seen Cubase before, you can drop down here. This is a list, and you can see we've got a filter here. So I've typed drum when I previously used it. If I was to type like piano, literally it comes up with the whole list here. So if I just double click on this, it loads it up. And so I've got a keyboard here connected. I'm running with the Novation Launch Key 25. So it's not the biggest keyboard, but it should do. So you can see there, it's like a nice piano. Let me just take the octave up. And there's tons of really good electric pianos. So I'm not going to spend the whole kind of video going through that stuff. My instinct at the moment is to think about building something kind of like percussively. I don't know why. So I'm just going to drop down the filter here. This is another view. You can customize this, by the way. We can strip it down to how it was before. Cubase is an incredibly customizable application, and that's one of the things that I think is a real strong point of it. So you can customize it how you work. And what I'm looking for is some percussion, the drums and percussion here. We have percussion, and we got a list of stuff over here. Mixed percussion could be good. I don't know. I've got no idea what I want to do. Maybe I shouldn't start with percussion. But as a little showcase, it's a nice little kit. I don't want to end up doing, what's his name? Kerry Chandler Borrow Time all over again. There's no point in doing that. I don't know, I don't usually start with Halion Sonic for a drum kit. I would usually go for the Groove Agent, which is a real dedicated instrument for this sort of stuff. So I'm going to drop that in. So we're going to go to Drum, Groove Agent SE. Let me start off with the drums. I mean, it's a real classic approach, isn't it, to do that. And there are some kits here. Let's have a look. Ragga House kit. I wonder what that sounds like. Just need to make sure my keyboard's on the right octave. Okay, I'm kind of vibing on that. I don't know why I went for Ragga House. I don't even know if that actually works with that kind of a genre name. I'm just zooming in here, pushing the H key, a couple of things I'm going to show you here actually. Let me just zoom out. I'm going to do this over 2 bars. And I've got my cycle on. Okay, so that's there. The other thing that I've got is my settings down here. So when I'm bringing, kind of like when I'm working on an idea, this is how I like to do it. So in the MIDI record mode, I go to merge, which means that the MIDI part that's created, whenever I do another pass across the cycle, coming back to the beginning of the bar, anything new I play gets placed into the same MIDI part. All right, so that's how I like to work. And the other thing that we've got here is auto quantize. And if this is on, make sure you reference up here the quantized grid. So I've got straight up 16ths on here. I might change that soon. The other thing that I'm working with at the moment is my grid is set to bar and the grid is on, so it's snapping that, and that's really handy. And what I'll do is I'll record something in. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. Right, the other thing is the tempo. So at the moment that's down to track. Let me just get that fixed. I'm going to go for 123, I think. And yeah, let me just get something down and see what happens. All right, so just running with this keyboard here. I'm going to get it set up. Like I said, got cycle. I've got the transport controls here. This is running as a Mackie Huey emulation. So that's working nicely. And let's just get it in there, have a look, see what happens. I forgot to put my click on, so my timing's terrible. What am I doing? I'm just going to push C, and we're going to get that, and we're going to do the 2-bar count in it again. At least I've got a reference point this time. That's better. Taking my click off. Take the record off for the moment as well. And then let me just check out some other sounds on the keyboard. I'm just going to roll with this, just record some layers in. So that's that merge in, you can see what's going on here. The MIDI part is kind of merging everything. And note there that I was playing stuff with different velocities. That reminds me, actually, I should make sure that my kicks are all at a uniform velocity. I'm just going to pick this up and scale it up. And I'm probably going to leave the other elements as they are. Yeah, that's vibing good, but I've just noticed, you know, my level's pretty hot here. And the other thing that I want to do is set up some multiple outputs. And got the opportunity of 16 here. I'm just going to turn on a few more. I'm going to root these out as we go. And yeah, so let's have a look. What have we got going on here? So onto the instrument. Yeah, the kick I'm going to bring through on the first channel. So I've got, that's my kick. Let's get the hat on its own output. So you can see I've got it selected here. And on the main section, I can just drop this down. I'm going to go to output 2, which is going to be over here. And what was that other one? It's like a rim shot or something, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to have this out on 3. Going to name these as we go. Kick, closed, hat, rim shot. You know what? I just noticed a big jump in level. I suspect that rim shot's got some heavy weight on it. So we want to basically make sure we got some decent headroom. Yeah, look at that. Tons of sub bass. So what I can do is basically turn on my low cut. So basically just take these frequencies up. Let's roll it off. Let's have a look. That's pretty good. I don't need it to be that thick. So something like that's going to work better. Some more headroom in the mix for the rest of the elements. And that's another thing I love about Cubase. You see over here the meters. So what I've got is this extra kind of detail And we can see here the peak and the RMS, and we also get the value for the RMS here. So you see the difference between the meter. So over here is the RMS, and then we've got peak at the top. It's nice to get a sense of what the difference is whilst you're working, and you can turn that on over here. You can see I've got here this option, which is control room meter. See, so I turn it on and it's over here on the right hand side. Really, really useful. So whilst I'm here, I might as well take a look at the hi-hat. A little bit of sub on there, so we're going to bring this up. And also, I'm a little bit shy of having ultra high frequencies myself, so I'm just going to roll down some of these. See over here, up at the 20k, it's not as high energy as it was. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice vibe. So the next sound that I bring in is going to come out of the master output here, which I've named kick. So I'm just going to vibe with it, and when I'm ready, I'll route it out on its own channel, of course. Let's have a listen. Let me just check something. What am I doing? Let me come back to this. Okay, it's quite a nice clap. Let me see how that feels. Yeah, I like that. So, we can see that we need to get the routing sorted. This is currently going out through the same as the kick. So, dropping down again, number 4. It's going to be my clap. And I'm probably going to have to deal with this once again. Right, that's a bit loud. Let's bring it down. Yeah, cool. I really want to add some kind of effect to that. So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of a send effect. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to right click. And we're going to say here, add effects channel to send one. And I'm going to go for a bit of a delay. Open this up, and probably the ping pong delay. Let's have a look. Just going to say add track. So this is now a return track. You can see that over here. So I'm just going to say here delay return. So it's not an insert effect. Okay, so I'm not applying this to the source channel. I'm having a signal sent from the clap channel into the effect. All right, so you can see that that's gone to like the maximum. So let's have a listen. Now the grid position was basically set to something that was like every bar. So now I'm just making this faster. Let's have a listen. And that's nice. I'm just going to take the mix to 100%. If we're dealing with send and return effects, usually we have the mix set to 100% for a return effect. So let's have a listen again. And I'm also going to experiment with a faster grid setting. I quite like the idea of going to 16ths actually. Let's have a listen. Now for me the feedback's a little bit too long. Feedback is the amount of echoes, so I'm going to reduce that. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to roll down this filter. So we're going to roll away the highs a little bit. So the echoes are less bright. Let me show you that extreme. You hear that? So just opening it up a little bit more. And we could, of course, get real clarity on that happening by taking a look at the actual EQ spectral analysis for the delay return. So notice up here, what I'll do is I'll open it wider. So it's going up. Just going to show you here, see if we can register. So yeah, it's probably about 15k. Let's bring this down. So it's getting lower. Let's keep going down. It's not moving that much, is it? You can really see it there. All right, so use your ears. Of course, we can hear that basically it's getting brighter as we increase this. So that's the delay return. All right. So I like that. I think that's got a nice vibe to it. And let's take solo off here. What I want to do to get a bit more control is to basically route all of these tracks here through a group. All right, so I'm going to select all of these and I'm just going to come up and I'm going to right click on here and we're going to say add basically a group channel to the selected channels. So we're going to bus everything together. I'm going to call this drums. So that's over here and they're all going to be routed through. And by the way, did you hear that? The delay return? When I'm turning this lot down, it feels like that's getting louder, okay? And that makes perfect sense, of course. So let me just bring that back up. I think we've got some control here. Let me add some more layers. What am I going to do? Let me find something else. Let's make sure that I'm transmitting back again. Okay, there's not that much going on up there. I might just keep that as it is for the moment. So I'm going to say here beat 1. Hold down shift, which means it's going to name the part over here as well. Okay, you know what I'm feeling now actually is a couple of things. Firstly, I want to take a look at the timing because I'm feeling I want to swing this. Okay, so look, take a look at the 16th grid positions. They're all even at the moment. Now, if I was to drop this down, this is the quantized settings. We can see here that we can adjust the swing. Now, watch on the display here. You can see that basically we've got the certain grid positions are moving to the right. Okay. These are the even numbered 16th. So if you see my mouse cursor here, I'm pointing to the first 16th, the second, third, and fourth. All right, so it's those even numbers that move to the right. So this is the foundation of swing. And at the moment, the actual grid positions are not on screen and not actually matching that. So if we put on auto, now when I adjust this, can you see those grid positions moving? Now it's very important to understand that, you know, only certain positions of my programming are going to move later. So you can see those. Can you see? And that's what I love about Cubase. We get this real-time visual feedback about the actual swing. So I'm going to have a listen and see how that feels. So let me just show you in comparison. We're going to go to 0. And then go back about 61, wasn't it? Something like that. Let's have a listen. Yeah, it's more vibey, you know, it's got that swing on there. Okay, so that's cool. So I'm going to set up another instrument. So what I was kind of saying there is that I want to come back to that idea of the percussion now. I feel suitably inspired. And so I'm going to drop this down and I'm going to say percussion. See what comes up. There's a general MIDI kit. That could be all right. You never know. I had the mixed percussion from before. Latin percussion could be quite good. African percussion could be good. Let me see about that. Interesting. Quite a tribal kind of sound to it. Let's come up. This seems actually to be just the same sample pitched chromatically up and down the keyboard. Yeah, I don't know if I really want that. I want something a bit different. So what have we got? What's digital percussion? No, that sounds kind of FME. I'm not really interested in that. Let's check this. No, not feeling that. Latin. Yeah, some nice vibes here. Yeah, let me see what goes on with this. Yeah, that's sounding wicked. The only thing is that the panning is pretty extreme. Just gonna see if I can redress the balance there. It's all to do with the way the samples are laid out on the keyboard, but with the Halion Sonic SE, I don't get the ability to get in and adjust the individual samples pan position. So I'm gonna leave it where it is. Doesn't sound quite as good as before, so just wondering about other things at the moment now. Let me just take that solo off. Okay, so look, we're getting hot again with the levels. Let me just bring these guys down and let's see how that feels. So just really just vibing in there, playing stuff, see how that comes together. See what other sounds we got. Okay, some nice bits here. Sounding wicked, but that kick feels a little bit too loud, so just going to do this. Yeah, feeling that. That's working nicely. Let me see what else we got. And this is all well and good, but I'm putting some pretty bottom heavy sounds in the mix here. So I might have to reduce those if I'm going to get a bass line or something on the go. Yeah, look at all that sub. I'm going to do, basically I get my low cut. Yeah, I like that. You know what? I want to rough this up a bit actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop down, and we got dynamics, and there is a Cubase vintage compressor. I'm going to bring this in. So it looks a bit like the 1176, and we're going to smash this a little bit. Let's see how this feels. So I'm going to go for the 20 ratio. Let's see how it sounds. See, what I'm trying to do is really slam this, so that's why I've gone for the really heavy input here, the high ratio, and I'm just adjusting the attack time here. It's for a fast release to get that real kind of slammed vibe on there. Yeah, what I'm feeling is actually I'd like to do, I wish there was a mix control here, because I'm not 100% happy with that. I'd probably want to do it more as a send and return. And possibly this is the wrong compressor really for what I'm after. Let me try the tube compressor instead. I'm going to go for something a bit similar. You hear that? It's mashing it up quite nicely actually. So you hear how all of the kind of hits are really clean and pristine. When I adjust the mix, the compressor's filling in the gaps, and that drive is adding a nice bit of color to it. Okay, I'm going to blend this into the beats now. You know what I'm feeling is maybe I'm going to treat this almost like a sample. So if I basically drop in something, if I go for a filter here, let me just have a look what could be the best one here actually. Let me go for this morph filter, and we're going to go for, okay, like a bandpass kind of vibe. Yeah, that's not what I'm after. What I'm trying to do is to make it sound really kind of old, I guess, almost like a sample that I'm taking off of something. Instead, maybe what I'll do is just get one of these old school graphic EQs. This could be quite funny. Let's bring these down. Now I'm feeling that I'd rather keep it clean. All right, you've got to play around with these ideas, I'm feeling that I don't want to go for that bandpass route. I could have used an EQ to do that, or another filter. All right, let me just do one more attempt at it. Right, so if we go, where is it? This DJ EQ could be a quick fix. Yeah, no, definitely. I'm enjoying the richness of those kind of textures more so. Let's just check that I like the sound of that compressor. Yeah, I like it. All right, so that's cool, and I think it's working quite nicely. What else have we got going on here? Do you know what? For the moment, I think I'm gonna have these beats as that's all it is. So I actually want to get rid of some extra channels here that I'm not using. So here we go. I like a clean mixer. I get a little bit of a visual OCD with stuff sometimes, so it's nice and clean there. So there we go. Yeah, that's good. So all right, what we're going to do, add instrument track, and going to come down here to synth, and we're going to come here to Honey on Sonic SE, and let's see what we got. And let's get, what do I want? Let's take it off of this, off of the filter with the percussion. We don't want that. And just trying to think about the kind of thing that I want to do. Let me just do something, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type a, let's just type stab, right? Let's see what comes up. I'm thinking a stab of some sort is going to work here. Dance stabs. Right. No, I don't like that. That's not really working for me. Notice how the appearance of the Helion Sonic changes. So we've got a panel here from another instrument set, the Hypnotic Dance set. So what have we got? Dance stabs, dance power stabs, 80s sample hit. This could be funny. Raw. That's a little bit loud. Gonna bring it down. Wow, that sounds really ravey, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not convinced that's going to work. Sounds kind of prodigy. I'm going to take that away. What else could we do? Analog brass stabs. No, it sounds too nice, doesn't it? Let's just try a couple of other bits and pieces. Well, we're going to EDM territory. I better steer clear of that. That's not where I want to go. Okay, let me just try this. I don't know. Piano. Maybe a tribal kind of electric piano kind of vibe might go. I don't know. The Arctic piano, I like that. It's a lovely patch, but it's a bit too nice. I don't know, early 70s. No way. I'm going so down the wrong path here. Let me just try something, right? Look. Let me just get away from that stuff. That's just wrong. All right, let me just get a synth bass up and running. Now I'm listening to the tone of one of those lower percussive elements to try and determine where I'm going to go with this musically. You hear that? It's a kind of like a surdo, like a samba drum. It's the low note. So if I come back to my synth, I think something like that. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get something up and running here. Going to switch and adjust the pulse width. So we're going to get a square wave. Maybe take the octave down. And just going to bring the filter cutoff frequency. Whoa, I just did a right click there. Let's take up the envelope. Bring the cutoff down. Adjust the filter envelope here. Let me take the sustain level down. Yeah, that's nice. But actually I want to make this monophonic. Flick the switch at the top. Let me get a reminder about what we've got going on here musically. Okay, that's working quite nicely. I'm going to record something in. See what happens. Okay, I forgot to put my cycle on. Let's come back and listen. Yeah, that feels like it's working quite sympathetically with everything else. I'm just going to name this, shift and enter. You can see the part has been named correctly, and that's working nice. Now I might have to just get in there and roll up that low cut a little bit more because of the notes in there. I'm going to solo the treble and also the bass. Yeah, that feels quite nice. Let me set up another instrument, and I'm going to bring down synth. Yeah, I've got to go for the Retrolog again. So Retrolog is Cubase's virtual analog synthesizer, and it's a bit loud. Just going to bring this down. So yeah, it's got a kind of tribal kind of vibe going on there. I'm going to bring the filter down. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this set up. I want to make it sound kind of wider, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effect, so the modulation effect. Now this at the moment, too much pitch shift. That's a bit better. Take the mix down a little bit. That's working quite nicely. Let's just try a little bit of delay. Alright, do you know what? It's a little bit too kind of analog synthy. I'm going to try something a bit different, and pad shop. This is a nice instrument in Cubase. We've got some granular kind of textures going on here. Let's just have a look through some of these. A little bit too trancey. I'm using the modulation wheel here, by the way. That's nice. Let me just try that. Not quite. Let's check some more. A bit too abstract. Some lovely sounds here. Pretty abstract. What I like about this is I can use a mod wheel to brighten it up and filter it down. So you can see how that feels. Okay, yeah, this is cool. It's not the kind of stuff I'd usually do, but I'm vibing with it. All right, cool. So let me come back. Let me get this recorded in. Make sure I've got my cycle on. Yeah, here we go. Haha, okay. The length. What am I doing? Just trying to remind myself about the keys there. I don't want to forget the keys. So I'm selecting all of these, Command plus D. Select everything, push P. That means the left and right locators go around there. Okay, here we go again. Yeah, I like that. I'm just going to add something new. Instrument track. I might actually go for the pad shop again. Definitely feeling this. It's got some good vibes. I'm just going to flow down to the bottom of the list, go the opposite direction, see what we got here. Just turn it down. I hope I'm not hurting your ears. What lovely texture. You see that? The modulation wheel is getting that lovely pitch modulation. Wicked. There's tons of mileage there. Let me see how that feels. It's possibly a little bit too loud at the moment. And no, it's all getting a little bit too dreamy. I need to get a little bit of a different energy on the go here. So you notice what I did there was the first time I recorded the actual pattern, and then the second time round I added the modulation. So have a listen. So that was with the modulation wheel. You can see the MIDI data here. I really like that. It's an interesting texture. Alright, so yeah, it's a little bit dreamy, bit wishy-washy, but I'm going to keep rolling with this. There's something going on. Like I said, not my usual kind of vibe, but still, this is an interesting exploration. Let me go somewhere in the middle of the alphabetical list, because I haven't actually explored all of these sounds. This is turning into a little bit of a pad shop showcase. With the Pad Shop Pro, you can actually drop in your own samples as well, which is that's like a whole new subject. So you can see some really interesting textures coming along here. Just rebalancing some of the elements there. You see that rim shot came down. Yeah, that's all right. I'm not going to be spending tons of time on this video today because I don't have tons of time, but let me just show you something. Say, for example, if we were trying to structure this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, the rhythmic elements, and put these together. You see I'm just kind of gluing these shorter parts together. And let me take all of that, duplicate that, and we're going to do the same here. So glue, glue. We're going to basically 8-bar chunks. And here's a little kind of tip, really, a little bit of mileage. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to do the same again. And say, for example, you wanted to have a little bit of a variation. So if we wanted to, on this section, I'm going to select all of these musical elements. And what I'm going to do is go to MIDI. I'm going to go to, just try and remind myself of this one. I used to do this a lot back in the day. So is it functions? Here we go. Transpose setup. Here we go. So with these selected, I'm going to transpose them up by 3 semitones and do this. All right, they've jumped up. Have a listen, see what happens. Actually, let me give you the full feeling. We're going to come back to the beginning. So there we go, a little sneaky way to get some variety. So, you know, a little bit of transposition there on the MIDI. Of course, this is the beauty of programming with MIDI. You can get in there and do that. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed sharing with me the whole kind of composition experience here. Really nice to come back to Cubase. Tons of possibilities. We've really just been focusing on MIDI here, and you know, the built-in instruments, which are fantastically diverse and they sound great. That's for sure. Okay, that's about it. I will try and get some more Cubase videos done in the near future.